Thewizardliz is known for her manifestation abilities and confidence hacks, but she shockingly has just informed the world that she's been cheated on by her husband, who she's been with for less than a year, and says that she didn't know him at all. Basically, she found out about his secret Snapchat account where he was messaging a girl to meet up and also called their marriage fake. So now Liz and her followers are rightfully furious, and at this point, fans are convinced that he stalked and manipulated her into being with him in the first place and has now baby trapped her because she's currently 4 months pregnant with their unborn child. I mean, this whole situation is crazy and clearly there's a lot to unpack here, but unfortunately it seems like Liz may have manifested every woman's nightmare.
I made a mistake. I don't love Liz.
So first and foremost, for those who don't know, Thewizardliz is a very popular YouTuber slash content creator with over 8 million subscribers. She makes videos about confidence and self-improvement and getting away from toxic people and situations, which makes what we're about to talk about even more alarming. So you're probably thinking, how did this woman who's known for avoiding these types of situations get into something like this herself? Well, let me explain. This all started about 7 months ago when Liz posted a video titled, "I am getting married." And this was definitely a surprise to a lot of people, especially her subscribers, because she's built a following centered around the mindset of knowing your worth and not settling. And over the last several years, I would say she's very clearly portrayed herself as someone who is very intentional with her actions and also just her life as a whole. So I think this news of her getting married to someone she had never really even talked about on the channel before just came off as being very random and sudden, which didn't really match her vibe.
And this is not clickbait, it's very real. I am engaged.
Now in this I'm getting married video, she tells people his name, where he's from, and also briefly tells the story of how they got together, and this definitely makes him seem like a stalker. Let's just listen.
I met Landon 3 years ago and we met online. He was the first man to ever approach me online and to congratulate me on my YouTube success and to say how proud he was of me. All of a sudden I decided, let me book a trip to Santorini with my friend. So I did that. I booked a trip, all these things, and we had a flight to Santorini, but there was a stop in Athens because I had booked last minute and all the flights were full. So me and my friend, we go to the airport, and mind you guys, I'm wearing a cap that's like up until here. You can barely see, you can see like this of my nose, and I'm wearing a mask, okay? No one could recognize me. I think probably people couldn't even recognize what gender I was. I'm walking in the airport and we stop in Athens. Me and my friend, we quickly go get like some food and stuff. So me and her were sitting, and I'm like, I pulled the mask a little bit just to eat my food. This is how much you can see of my face, okay? Like nothing. I'm sitting and all of a sudden I hear Liz. I do not know how he recognized me. I've never seen this guy in my life. I felt such a strong energy from him, and I'm a person, I'm very intuitive, so I feel things. I don't really think, I feel. So I'm sitting in front of him, and then he starts telling me about why he's there, because he lives in America. Like, what are the odds of us meeting each other in an airport in Athens? So he was telling me he was supposed to go to Mykonos, but his friends had just scammed him or whatever, and they had canceled on him. So he's like, yeah, I'm going back to America, but he's like, I forgot my bag where you were sitting. That's why I came back for my bag. Guys, can you imagine the coincidence here? You know what? I felt bad for him. So I was like, listen, instead of like going back to America, if you want, you can join me and my friend on our trip to Santorini. And he arrived 2 hours later. And yeah, me and him were inseparable ever since, like literally.
So you're telling me that no one could recognize her. She was unrecognizable, wearing a hat, covering half her face, and a mask, only this visible. But somehow he recognized her, even though they had never met face to face before. Knew exactly where she was sitting, or bumped into her because he left his bag nearby. And then had this sad story about how his friends ditched him and he got scammed. And of course, she felt bad for him. And then suddenly she's inviting this stranger, essentially, to come with her and her friend to Greece. I mean, can you count the red flags? The crazy thing is, though, one person even commented on this video 7 months ago when she first posted it. This is what they said. I hope this doesn't end in tears. I feel that guy is hungry for fame. He's literally been watching Liz's every move. That story about his friends abandoning him is questionable. Liz deserves a genuine man and I hope I'm wrong. So they literally predicted the situation ending badly for Liz. And unfortunately they were right, which is insane. Anyway, let's fast forward a bit because her and her creepy husband actually explain this together in the video that she just posted a week ago called Q&A with my husband, which by the way already has over 2 million views. And again, the red flags are just sickening. It's actually like kind of hard to watch knowing what we know now. Literally 3 days after she posted this video, she found out he cheated. So something that I noticed right off the bat is he starts immediately kind of like taking over the video and like talking about how no relationship is 100% perfect and kind of just talking about himself. Right off the bat, it's like, why is he doing all the talking, you know?
Before we get into questions, I actually want to say something. So, look, I don't think any relationship is 100% perfect. I think that a lot of YouTubers will come on and they'll do like a Q&A about a relationship and they're just gonna make it look like everything is rainbows and butterflies. At the end of the day, you get into relationships to grow. And a marriage, in my opinion, and I think we agree on this. Do you not want me to say that?
I want you to say whatever you want.
Okay.
He also says, some of you might know me from YouTube back in the day.
Some of you may know me from YouTube back in the day. I haven't done YouTube in the longest time, but hi.
Because apparently he has a YouTube channel that I had to actually search really hard for. And to my surprise, he has almost 3 million subscribers. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't post anymore, hasn't posted in a while. And I'm sure many people, especially the ones watching this video on Liz's channel, have never heard of this guy ever before. So yeah, that's awkward. Like, no, we don't remember you from YouTube actually. Sorry, who are you again? Anyway, he then proceeds to point out to everyone watching the video how beautiful Liz is.
You're so beautiful. Hit that like button if you think Liz is just so beautiful.
Okay, don't do that. Please don't do that.
So he's like immediately flattering her, which is not too weird yet, but just wait. Then they get to the story of how they first started talking a few years ago on Instagram when he DM'd her and sent her this book recommendation. And he said the reason why he sent her this book recommendation is because he noticed something was special about her and he just wanted to add value.
Oh my gosh, there's something special about this person. I don't know what it is. Obviously you're so beautiful, but there was something deeper. And so I was like, I'm gonna send her a message. What should I say? And then I realized like, I just want to add value. Like maybe there's something I could like put you on.
And in my opinion, I feel like here you can already see that he's like using a lot of the same words that she uses. I just want to add value, talking about how special and beautiful she is. It just seems like he's like catering to her mindset and saying what he thinks she might want to hear, which is another red flag, I would say. But let's keep going. He then compares her to his ex that he very recently was in a relationship with.
I was dealing with this relationship and I said out loud, you know, at the end of the day, whatever I'm dealing with is okay because there's still girls like Thewizardliz out there.
Yeah, and just for a little bit of extra context, they apparently were both like pretty fresh out of relationships when they started talking, which kind of makes that statement weirder. And then speaking of weird statements, he also says this.
From the time I met you and then watched you become successful, I felt I related with you and the things that you were saying. Like in my head, you were always such like an ideal partner, ideal woman, ideal wife.
Oh, so like someone who's way out of your league that you kind of see as some sort of trophy that you can use and manipulate to fuel your own ego? Is that what you meant to say? But yeah, it's weird and creepy, especially if they hadn't actually met yet and he already felt that way about her. It kind of is giving, I watched all your videos and stalked you. Right? Anyway, then they start talking about qualities that they love about each other and he says this.
There's this thing that you do that I specifically love. When Liz is happy, she'll like click her knees together and she doesn't realize that she's doing it, but it's something that I see every time you do it and I'm just like, I don't know, that's just something that I love about you.
Liz's face just looks so unimpressed here. She's like, wow, great, that's what you love about me clicking my knees together. But he does continue for a while to talk about a few more things he loves about her and then it actually gets a little awkward.
You're very beautiful, but that's not even at the top of the list for sure. You're so sweet.
Great. Okay, awkward now.
But somehow it proceeds to get more and more alarming because then they start talking about jealousy and possessiveness in a relationship. And let's just listen to this.
I'm not really a jealous person.
I kind of am.
You are.
Yeah, naturally I'm more of a...
And very possessive.
To be honest.
And very controlling.
But you're my girl.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. He's very, very controlling.
Very, very... What does that look like to you, huh?
I mean, the foreshadowing here is crazy. There's just so many red flags.
Person is going to choose someone else over you. Like,
Yeah.
that defeats the whole point. But forgiveness is a big thing. So
Yeah.
if you have ever had a trust issue come up, you got to learn how to forgive and work through that. Otherwise, that'll just turn into crippling insecurity that you suffer with.
Depends what the trust issue was. If the person
Yeah.
is like texting other people.
Yeah, well, there's different like degrees of severity for
Yeah.
sure.
Yikes. Also this.
Someone said, what would you do if your husband left you or whatever? I'm like, I mean, I would just continue with my life, you know? I still have my own life. I have my own finances. I don't need to be here. I want to be here. And that's the most important thing, especially for a woman.
Notice how his eyes are like darting around the room while she's saying this, and he like can't seem to look straight. He just looks extremely uncomfortable. And then she takes it even further with this.
Also, one thing I wanted to add to the young girls watching this: pursue your education, pursue your career, focus on that. Don't live your life centering around men.
Yeah, but clearly they moved quickly in this relationship, and this is a very shocking piece of context.
Who said I love you first?
Oh my God. I told this woman that I loved her within 36 hours of knowing her.
I'm sorry, what? 36 hours? How is that not a red flag? Like, it's crazy. It's so crazy how looking back and analyzing this video, the signs were clearly right there.
I literally told her within 36 hours, I was like, look, this is gonna sound like a lot and I'm sorry because I know it's weird, but I know I'm supposed to marry you.
Then, okay, after all that, they each went home, and then the love bombing continued.
So
2
you were
weeks.
in the US, I was back in my apartment, and then Landon had ordered me like 750 flowers. And I remember I was sitting there and I like kept looking at them during the day, and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm actually like in love.
And she was just getting more and more obsessed, and she thought he was the sweetest thing ever, and he was just a mess because he loved her so much. I mean, like, can we be for real? Near the end of the video, she also mentions comments from when she first posted him on Instagram from people saying that they thought he wasn't good for her, which is crazy.
We got engaged very quickly.
When I posted him on Instagram and my TikTok, just know I'm locked in. Like, there's no way I would have posted any man if I was like doubting it or whatever. He comments like, oh, he's not good for her, he's this, he's that. He wasn't good for me. Best believe I would be talking about that.
Jeez.
Probably in every video.
Yeah, but you had that realization, and then I realized I realized right away, like, I'm gonna marry this girl, this is it. You're the answer to my prayers. And so, yeah, we eloped.
Well, turns out he wasn't good for her, because 3 days after she posted that Q&A video, this is what she posted on her Instagram story. I will never ever create a fake narrative for social media. I will not preach something and not take the advice myself. Landon decided to make a Snapchat account and reach out to a girl to meet up. He was just with me in London, made a whole book about how much he loves me. Anyways, the girl reached out to me, to my friend today, and showed us evidence. He called the relationship fake. Meanwhile, my cats are with him in Dallas. All my stuff is there in our apartment. And oh, I'm 4 months pregnant, which nobody knew this yet. But anyway, she continues. He says he's incredibly sorry, but honestly, I feel like I didn't know him at all. I feel stupid for ignoring the signs and dreams I had that I even told him about, and he told me I was crazy. Listen to your intuition, women. Men want to lead the world but can't even control their lust. It's weak. A man that can't control his lust will never be able to lead. I'm absolutely heartbroken and shocked. My haters can go celebrate. Haha, so funny. I will always have the last laugh though. He lost everything and I gained everything. Thank God. And then she added on another story, she said, thank you to Peyton for showing me early on what kind of man he is. Bless you and may God give you everything you want and more in this life. And another one, she said, I'm going to sell my engagement ring around 100K and donate the money to single moms. More power to women. And Peyton is the girl that he was talking to on Snapchat, and is the reason why we have the following screenshots where we can see what actually went down between them, and this is insane. So it starts with him saying, are you still in Dallas? She says, yeah, why? He says, just wondering who all I know is still here. I just got back from London, in New York City Tuesday, and back in Dallas for a week. Do you have plans? And she says, aren't you married? And immediate red flag, no, plus just looking for friends. And then he changed the chat to delete immediately, meaning he doesn't want these to be seen. So then she says, since when aren't you married? He says, yeah, well, it's a complicated long distance internet thing. What? But no, I'm not married, lol. Not a normal life for sure. She's like, so your whole relationship is fake? He says, no, it's not, but I'm not married. That part is not real. And she's like, what does that even mean? Because yeah, literally what? Ha ha ha, do you want to see me? I can tell you in person. She says, I don't want to hang out with married men, and I saw you wearing a wedding ring. This girl is so clutch for like calling him out on every single thing. And he says, well, that's fair, but no, not married. And then she sends him a screenshot literally from the video we just watched, the Q&A video of him like this, where you can see his ring. So she just like blatantly calls him out. This is so embarrassing. And then he says, on God, that's worn for the video, but never mind, it's complicated. She's like, explain. These responses are so good. The fact that she just like wasn't letting him say these stupid answers. He's like, no, ah ha ha, never mind. I told you it's complicated, not legally married, maybe will be. Pretty sure that's the third time he said he's not married, even though Liz says they're married. So what's going on? And then maybe will be? What? She's like, well, either way, if you are in a relationship, you shouldn't be trying to hang out with girls. And he says, why were you going to come courtside with me then? Just curious, but your point is valid. She's like, what's your point? You invited my boyfriend and I, and we never came. So that sounds irrelevant. I didn't know you had a boyfriend at the time. This is just like not adding up at all. And no, not trying to pull a fast one on you. LOL, was just curious. She says, but you said yourself, you are in a relationship right now, so why are you trying to hang out with me? He says, well, it was not trying to date you, but you're right. Even if the situation is complicated or unresolved, I shouldn't message you. I am sorry. Maybe I'll explain more one day. That last line is so gross. Like, it's basically like, we'll talk again. Like, what are you doing? So yeah, that's what he said. And then I'm pretty sure this is when he apologized or tried to apologize publicly and like address the situation. But was it a good and honest apology? No, of course not. Here's what he said.
I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean that I don't love Liz. I love her with my entire heart. I want to be a great man, and I'm not there yet. I think all the people telling me to kill myself and whatever for this thing that I am acknowledging is wrong, and it's not, it was 5-10 minutes of my life texting somebody that I don't give a about, jeopardizing everything that I have. Like, it's just ridiculous. So yeah, I deserve the hate, and there's not a single person on this planet that is more disappointed or upset. So I don't expect you guys to understand, but I hope you take into consideration that you can make a mistake and get better. And this isn't just a mistake, right? Like, this is breaking trust, but I realized what I did was wrong, and it's never going to happen again.
Never gonna happen again because she left you. There is no chance for it to happen again. Also, the fact that he said there's not a single person on the planet that is more disappointed or upset. You don't think Liz maybe is more disappointed and more upset? So yeah, pretty sure no one thought this was an acceptable way to apologize. And I also think he deleted this very quickly, as he probably should, because of just sheer embarrassment. And it looks like he has also deleted all of his Instagram posts except for one, which is just a carousel of photos with him and Liz, and he should probably just go ahead and delete that one as well, and might as well just deactivate his whole account at this point, because he's just being bombarded with hate comments. People are saying she's too good for you anyway. 235,000 likes. She destroyed her genes for you. It's not just cheating on a partner, it's failing as a father before the child is even born. Have some shame and delete this right now. Erase everything, you're so embarrassing. And this one says, she said not to hate you, but expect receiving disrespect anywhere, anytime. And she actually did address this, because I'm sure she obviously saw or heard about all this hate he was getting. He even mentioned it himself. And so she posted this on her story. She said, please don't send Landon hate. I still somehow feel responsible for his feelings, even though he was definitely not thinking about me or our child when deciding to make a Snapchat account yesterday. I'm so blindsided and shocked. It's like a bad dream. I wish I could wake up, but I can't because it's reality. Maybe I shouldn't share this much, but I don't know. I feel close to you guys, and I do have my family right now. I'm just shocked, but please don't hurt him. That's not my intention at all. I still love him, but I have to choose myself. And yeah, obviously it's just absolutely devastating for Liz, and it's just shocking that he would do this to his own wife while she's 4 months pregnant. Like, it's just absolutely diabolical. And even when you go back and look at the comments on the Q&A video now, people are saying things like cheating on your pregnant wife is another level of evil. This feels like rewatching a scary movie after finding out who the killer was all along. This is insane. I can't even process. He just wanted to humiliate her. He saw a woman glowing and publicly cheated on her her and trapped her with a baby. That man was her biggest hater. He 100% stalked her, and these have a lot of likes too. This one said, saying I love you 36 hours after meeting, both texting and jumping into a new relationship without healing from their past. Yeah, there were definitely signs. And I've actually seen people asking Liz to not delete the video because people feel like they can look back and like use it as a tool almost and a reminder, as like sad as that sounds, to look out for red flags and like avoid getting stuck in a situation like this, which it really is sad. And I think because people saw their relationship as like perfect and goals, this has kind of been leading people to believe that like love isn't real, men are trash, evil, and that all men cheat.
I'm convinced that all men cheat at this point. Thewizardliz just posted that her fiance Landon cheated on her while she is 4 months pregnant. And as someone who's been cheated on before, it's never your fault. It's not because you weren't pretty enough. It's not because you weren't smart enough. It's not because you weren't rich enough. Men just in general cheat. I have decided that I can look the other way if you give me things. Okay, give me things and what? Huh?
You are telling me Mother Liz was cheated on while she was 4 months pregnant? Have you seen her? She's so gorgeous, so confident, so beautiful. Literally everything that you would want in a person, she has that. If that woman had to go through this, us mortals, us little peasants, how are we gonna survive?
Which in my opinion is a really bad mindset to get stuck in. Because let me say this. Just because this one sad excuse of a man decided to make this dumb decision and ruin his relationship with Liz, who a lot of people see as like the perfect dream girl, does not mean that all men are like this and that all men cheat and this is going to happen to every girl out there. It's just not true. And don't get me wrong, those men are out there, as Landon so eloquently has proven to us. So I do think it can be a lesson to people to not rush into relationships and move too quickly, especially when you don't actually know someone. Because even for Liz, who was someone who is obviously aware of these types of people and situations, and she even warned others of, I feel like this is proof that it's not always easy to see the signs, especially when you're in it. And that's why I really think we have to be careful with the whole manifesting mindset, because this is just such an unfortunate example of how that can actually be dangerous for you and can get you into a situation that you feel like you're being led into or guided towards by God or the universe, when you're really just being manipulated or targeted. So let's just be careful out there, okay? Please, ladies especially. Following your feelings and intuition is fine, but we also have to use logic too. And I do feel really bad for Liz, especially because she's talked about her difficult relationship with her father and that she has struggled with repeating that trauma in past romantic relationships, like how that has affected her mental health. So I just can't imagine how she must be feeling while being 4 months pregnant. But I would love to know what you guys think about all of this, so definitely leave a comment down below. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Don't say that. No, they're gonna think I'm like holding you hostage.
No,
like,
no,
blink
no.
twice.
No.
Like, no.
Wear red in the next
No,
video.
okay.